The steady climb of this Southampton side since League One has been quite good and quite impressive. I think 15th place in Season 1, moving up to 12th in Season 2, moving up to 9th in Season 3. In Season 4, then, we are looking to break into the top, let's say, 7, ideally maybe a bit higher, but if we can get into a European qualification position, that is where we need to be aiming for. On the 1st of July, we have got about £60 million to spend. We would have had more, but we've done a fair amount of transfer business already, so let's take a look to see what we've done. Leaving the club then, Joe Aribo, he is left on a free transfer signing for West Brom. Ross Stewart has also left on a free transfer signing for Sheffield United. Ben Brereton Diaz has moved over to Saudi Arabia for £23 million. Flynn Downs has moved over to Norwich for £4.2 million. And Taylor Harwood-Bellis has moved over to Birmingham for £8.5 million, possibly going up to 11. Joining the club then, we have signed Christian Gorieb from Everton on a free transfer. He's one for the future, obviously. Lucas Canizares has also joined on a free transfer, formerly of Real Madrid. He's a decent backup goalkeeper. I don't know whether he's any relation to the Canizares, the former, I want to say Valencia goalkeeper? Am I thinking that right? I don't know if he's a relation. I'm going to assume he is because he's a goalkeeper, Spanish, and called Canizares, but he's come in on a free. So has Albert Sambi Lakonga. He has also joined on a free transfer, formerly obviously of Arsenal. He actually spent last season out on loan at Burnley. We've picked him up. He's going to come in as a bit of a fringe player. Not expecting huge amounts, but he's a decent footballer. And we did pull the trigger, signing Armando Broja on a permanent deal for £24 million. I think this was sensible. Last season he did very well for us, scoring 14 goals, 7 assists just in the league alone. He got 16 in all competitions. 24 million might be a bit steep, but he's only 24. He's hopefully going to improve as well, and in fact, he's already our best striker. But that's our transfer business. We've had a very busy summer on the 1st of July already. In fact, a few of these technically came through yesterday. So Aribo was yesterday, Broja was yesterday, Gorieb was way back on the 9th, and then a few more of these were also way back in the past as well. So Harwood-Bellis and Flynn down. So we've had a busy summer so far. We've got 50 million still to spend. This is what they think is our best 11, which I'm kind of okay with. But looking at some of the positions, and by some, one of them stands out to me, and that is Fatawu on that right-hand side. Do we need to bring in a new right winger? Do we need to bring in a new defensive midfielder, maybe to replace Chotard or Dorsch? Probably not. I think we've got ourselves a good squad. Realistically, any transfer business that we do this summer will be replacing players that we lose and not trying to strengthen. I think we've got a pretty strong squad now. So, without further ado, let's jump forward then to the end of the summer transfer window. What business have we managed to do? I'm going to say that we've definitely brought in somebody we probably didn't need. We have sold £146 million worth of players. We're going to have to fly through this. Obviously, we've got the Brereton Diaz is part of that £146 million. Bela Kotchap is a player to leave the club. He's moved over back to Germany, to Freiburg, for just under £1 million. Sulemana has gone over to Saudi Arabia for nearly £13 million after all the inclusions are kind of added up. Luis Suarez has left the club, signing for Aston Villa for £30 million. That was his minimum fee release, by the way. Ronnie Edwards has moved over to Fulham for £6.75 million. Max Kilman has gone over to Birmingham for £1.3 million. Luj Bishish has gone to Leeds for nearly £15 million after all the add-ons. And Mudryk has gone over to Al Ittihad for silly money, £59 million, possibly going up to £63 million. This has done a lot of the heavy lifting for the money that's come into the club, but we have also spent quite a lot as well. Going up in terms of price order on a free transfer, Mies Hilgers has joined from FC Twente. He was out of contract, and I think he's pretty good. For £63,000, we have gone over to Dam, a club that are very good to take basically anyone who comes through the Dam youth intake, sign them because they're going to be good. We have got Sami Ristmaki, who is a Kosovan striker and winger. He's currently wanted. Who wants him? Northampton want him on loan. Maybe you can have him in January, possibly. For £1 million, we've signed Slovenian winger Anej Baranja, might be his name, signed from Bravo. He's actually pretty good. He's currently being bid on, and I think it's going to be going out on loan to Göztepe. It's always going out on loan to Göztepe. For £2 million, we've signed Anis Poulan, who's been brought in from USL Dunkirk over in France. If you don't know, I did a save on FM 2018 maybe, 2017 with Dunkirk. It was a fun save to do. We brought him in. He's very good, and he's only cost pennies, literal pennies. £2 million, it's not pennies. And the next player is a big leap up when it comes to price, and that is Simon Adingra, who has been signed from Fulham after they were relegated, formerly of Brighton and currently Brighton in real life. He's cost £20.5 million. I think this is good. I think he's good. He's only 24. We needed a bit more improvement, in particular on the left wing once we sold Mudryk. We needed somebody to come in and fill that void. Adingra, I think, might be the man to do it. And then for £30 million, we did buy ourselves a defence midfielder, and it is Andre, signed from Wolves after they were relegated to the Championship. He was brought for £21.5 million. I don't know if that's real or not, but we've basically paid £30 million. I think he's very good. We've got ourselves a very good defence midfielder there. Probably means Dorsch is not going to be getting too much game time because I feel like Andre's going to basically kick him out of the starting 11. But that is our transfer business. Let's quickly sort the loans out as well because there's a lot of them. So Bragg, Buck, Digba, we've got Dobson, Ventura, Dickey, we've got big ones to go talk about really. Fernandez going to Sunderland, Amoa Mayor to Watford, Katongo to Huddersfield, anyone else? Traore to Wickham is one, Aston Daly, is he getting better? Apparently so. That's good to see. Santos has gone to Sunderland. Billy Barker has gone to Rapid. Somebody has decided to go over to FC Rapid, which is very good to see. It's weird that it's this guy, but fair enough. He's gone to Romania. Goriev has gone to Valenciennes. We've got anyone else important? Barnaby Williams, not really important, but he's gone to Port Vale. Ballard has gone to Cardiff. Shay Charles has gone to Derby. Bazunu going out on loan to Blackburn because basically he needs game time. He's very rarely played for me because he's always been our number 2. He needs to get some game time to get better. Wellington has gone to Sunderland. And then for a huge loan fee of £1.9 million, Amari Hutchinson has gone to Birmingham. Did play 30 times last season for Göztepe over in Turkey. So looking at the best 11 then, I think this is probably not too bad at all. The defence midfield still worries me because they've saying Dorsch, which I'm not saying that he's not the better one, but I feel like Dorsch is our third choice. Best defence midfielder. Andre does slot in to that ball-winning midfielder position. Rudy Barton, Vitek in defence, which you obviously know. Adringa moves onto that left-hand side of Doze. He actually is our best right winger. Broja and Wiper are our 2 strikers, which obviously we got rid of Suarez, but we didn't really replace Suarez. Wiper should be the man to do the job. As the season has kicked off, we're already out of the Carabao Cup, losing to Norwich in the second round. We don't care for that competition. Nobody does. We've played 4 matches, winning one of them against Villa, drawing twice against Arsenal and Brentford, and then a 4-2 defeat at home against Liverpool, which is not great, but Liverpool currently top of the table, 4 wins out of 4. Even though the window was closed, I just want to point this out, we have £108 million transfer budget to spend if we really want to. January could be exciting. Speaking of, let's jump forward and see what happens on the 1st of January and see how well we do in the league. I'd like to do alright in the FA Cup. I want a decent cup run, because so far, we're just focusing on the league, doing alright. Maybe now's the time to try and win a cup as well. Fully aware of the irony of saying that after getting knocked out in the second round of the Carabao Cup by Norwich, but still. So on the 1st of January, we have not bought any new players into the club just yet. We are currently sat 8th place in the table. Nobody's left either, by the way. 8th place in the table is 3 points behind Newcastle, who occupy one of those European spots. 8 wins, any good ones in there. Beating Man City is a very good win. No, nothing else is really kind of a surprise. 6 draws, the draw against Arsenal, probably the biggest one there, and then 6 defeats against teams you'd expect us to lose against realistically. We do also have now £119 million to spend in this transfer window. I don't know whether we're going to do that, but the money's definitely burning a hole in my pocket. I want to spend that money, but I don't know what on. Maybe we ask the board for a new stadium or an expanded stadium. Possibly that's the way to go. Because the 32,384-seater St Mary's, I don't think is big enough. Are we selling it out? I mean, we should be able to see. We've sold out against Liverpool, nearly against Birmingham, nearly. We're getting close. I mean, not against Burnley there. We're not even getting close, actually. Maybe they don't want to do that. Anyway, let's jump forward then to the end of the transfer window. Let's see if we have managed to spend any of that £118 million. Well, looking at the finance screen, we've now got £98 million. We may have spent 20 million. Let's see what we've done. First of all, we sold 2 players. Nathan Wood has left, signing for Luton for not a lot of money at all, £225,000. And Jaden Moore has moved over to Birmingham for £1.8 million. 2 youth players have joined the club. Aaron Evans, first up, 19-year-old Welsh defender, signed from Marine, formerly of Liverpool. He's come in for £4,300. Arguably, we should have just picked him up on a free at the start of the season. Didn't know I was aware of him. And then my scouts turned up through January and went, sign him. So I went, okay, at £4,300, it's nothing. Also, a youngster is Matthias Skibber, who is an 18-year-old German winger and striker, signed from Bochum, going out on loan to Valenciennes in France. He's cost £135,000. I think this is a good signing, obviously one for the future, but he's not too bad now. Could probably get the odd game if he didn't go out on loan. And the one player we did sign, we technically don't need, although we might need him because we might be losing a player possibly in the summer. Manu Sanchez, 26 years of age, Spanish left-back, signed from Vigo for £23 million. He's probably going to be our new number 1 left-back. And you might be wondering, what's happening to Costas? Nothing, technically. So Kostas basically has said that he does not want to sign a new contract. He's got a year and a bit left on his deal. I have tried to sell him, and by tried, clubs came in for him, and he didn't want to sign for them, which is why I had already basically agreed the deal to sign our new left-back. Kostas was in talks with, I believe, clubs in Saudi Arabia as well, which is just madness that he didn't want to go there because money normally is the massive driving factor when it comes to football manager transfers. But yeah, Kostas didn't want to go. We would have got around £35 million from him as well. We're going to have to try and sell him in the summer if we can. And just a quick check of our best starting 11 then. I don't think anything has really changed at all. No, it's not. It's not changed at all, which is fine. Rudy Barr has moved up to a 3-star centre-back. He's very good. He's very, very good at football. That's what we like to see. How's Andre getting on? He's played at 22, got 4 goals, 1 assist. He's also got himself a lovely suspension. From a competition perspective, we have dropped down to 10th place in the Premier League, but we are still there or thereabouts when it comes to fighting for those European spots. Just 3 points between us and 7th place Arsenal. In the FA Cup, we are through to the 5th round to play Crystal Palace, which is certainly a winnable game. Is the FA Cup what we want to be trying to win this season? Or do we just want to do alright in the Premier League? I feel like both. Can we do both? Is that an option? Let's find out whether that is an option. We're going to jump forward then to the end of the season. I just want to look actually. So in January, we didn't do too bad. We did lose once again to Liverpool, but we beat Brentford. We drew with Villa. So not an awful month. Beating Burnley and beating Sheffield Wednesday as well. So we've done alright, obviously, in the FA Cup. And we have just drawn 1-1 with Birmingham on the 1st of February. Let's jump forward then to the end of the season. Not obviously a huge amount of games left to play. I'd love to see an FA Cup final on there. Yeah, we didn't get to the FA Cup final. In fact, we got knocked out against Crystal Palace, losing 2-1. Not ideal, but getting to the 5th round is better than where we normally get, which is probably the 4th round, where we lose to somebody rubbish. So getting to losing against Palace, again, I feel like that was a winnable game, but obviously we didn't do it, and the competition was won by Man City in the end. In the Premier League, we have finished 8th place in the table, and because Manchester City won the FA Cup, we are in the Europa Conference League. We've finished 8th. We've qualified for the Europa Conference League, 59 points. Just 1 point off of qualifying for the Europa League proper. We've had a good season. 11 draws, though, is quite a lot of draws. 11 defeats is obviously quite a lot of defeats as well. But we've got some nice big wins there. Let's have a quick look at the schedule. So what do we do towards the end of the season? Losing against Chelsea, not good. Losing against Leicester and Palace, that's probably the point that kind of hits us the hardest, I think. A good, very short month in March, beating Burnley and Newcastle, drawing with Man United, beating Arsenal, beating Spurs. February was a good month, even though we did get knocked out of the FA Cup and lost to Everton. That was actually a pretty good month. So just taking a quick look at the squad then, 2 players have broke double figures, and Nelson Viper is our top goal scorer, with 16 in the league, 17 in all competitions. And I'm surprised, but I'm happy. He didn't really play in the first season. In fact, he played 4 times, scoring once. Then Suarez left. Viper stepped up to the plate. He did, scoring 16 league goals. Brozier, similar season to last year by the looks of it, playing a lot of games, obviously scoring, in fact, almost identical season. Played 1 extra match, but got 1 less assist. So it's not bad. I'm okay with that. £24 million might have been a bit steep. Edozie, 9 goals, 10 assists. Andre gets 7 and 4. Dibbling, who, by the way, I did lock him in to the starting 11. I don't think I mentioned this at the start of the season. I locked in Dibbling and I locked in Vitek. I locked in Vitek because basically they were not playing him. If I didn't lock him in, he would not have got any game time. Dibbling, I needed to play someone on the left-hand side, and I feel like Dibbling was probably the best choice because in real life, he's very good at football, so Dibbling did get locked in and played quite well. 10 assists is good. We got 4 goals from Poulan. The fact that he played a lot of football and scored some goals is actually pretty impressive. Just want to have a quick look as well. Another player that I did lock in and change my mind halfway through the season was Juan Larios, because he wants to leave the club and I don't think he wants to sign a new contract. No, he's basically decided he wants to leave. I was desperately trying to keep him in the club because basically if we sort by this, we've got Walker-Peters and Larios as our 2 right backs or left backs, and I kind of wanted to keep Larios. And he decided it's our right backs, isn't it? And he was like, no, I'm not doing it, I'm leaving. So I was like, fine, go. We've got Walker-Peters who's still here. But I feel like we might need a new right back for season 5. So all in all, I don't think that was a bad season. We have climbed once again. So actually, if we have a quick look at the club info and go history, we've gone from finishing, not 20th, 15th to 12th to 9th to 8th. So in 4 seasons, we have done a pretty dramatic climb up the table. Next season then, which could be the final season in charge of Southampton, we will find out whether that is the case or not. We are looking to qualify for Europa League. I would say Champions League, but I feel like qualifying for the Champions League in 5 seasons is a bit ridiculous. I don't think it's anything that's likely to happen in real life, and if it does, it's more of a fluke. We're doing a nice steady climb. But that's going to do it then for Season 4.